Well, hi there, it's Jennifer. Welcome to my channel. In today's health video, I have got test results to share with you. If this is your first time here, I just documented myself using the glucose lowering hacks, or more sharing my experience, I should say, of using the 10 glucose lowering hacks by author and biochemist Jessie Inchauspe. And I am excited to share with you the results just after 12 weeks and 12 weeks of very slowly implementing these ideas. And I'm really thrilled to share them with you. Also, I'm going to be getting retested in about 3 months. I'm going to continue on using these hacks, and then I will hopefully be able to have more exciting results. But I'm very pleased. I mean, they're not like this massive shift, like, oh my gosh, like my A1C numbers dropped 5 points, but it did drop, and I can't wait to share that with you. Also, more importantly too, is I really want to share with you some ways that I have been de-stressing. I was just recently diagnosed with breast cancer, and let me tell you, the shock and awe of it really impacted me stress-wise, and I spent about 2.5 weeks just operating purely on adrenaline, and then about a week ago I crashed. So I'm going to be popping in and out. I'm going to take us out for a walk. It's such a beautiful day here. I am right off of the edge of Ted Stevens International Airport. I'm near the water. Maybe we'll see some animals. We'll certainly see some beautiful sights. It is a gorgeous day out here, but I want to jump in and out. I want to share with you those stress reducing techniques that I have been working on. And I mean, I tell you what, like the last week, I mean, I really hit rock bottom energy wise. It just came for me, but I am feeling better. So I look forward to sharing those with you. And I'm also on a very busy trail. So, okay, I want to get us walking. All right, well, let's get right into the results. But first, what I want to do is just go ahead and read the 10 glucose lowering hacks really quickly. And I am excited to share with you my results. All right, the 10 glucose hacks are: eat foods in the right order, add a veggie starter to all your meals, stop counting calories, flatten your breakfast curve, have any type of sugar you like, they're all the same, pick dessert over a sweet snack, reach for vinegar before you eat, after you eat, move, if you have a snack, go savory, put some clothes on your carbs. I have definitely taken the slow approach as far as adding these glucose hacks to my lifestyle, and I feel like for me it has worked really well because I have now well-established habits. My foundation, and it was the very first hack I used out of the Glucose Goddess method, which was the savory breakfast, then the veggie starter, the vinegar drink, moving after I eat. Those have been the 4 main hacks that I've been using over these 12 weeks very slowly. And now I have to say that it feels very natural. I'm not struggling to try to get these hacks in. Also, I did not do any calorie counting. Now, originally, I started keeping track of my weight when I first started. I thought that was something I was going to do, but I decided not to make that my focus. Although going forward now for the next 12 weeks, as I continue to implement all 10 of the hacks and just continue to eat in this way, hopefully, of course, my numbers will continue to improve, but also I do want to work on the weight aspect. And I have an appointment next week with my dietitian that I've been working with. And now with this breast cancer diagnosis, getting on the hormone suppressing medications, I'm really going to have to be so very, very attentive to my diet. And I would like to lose weight. I did manage to lose about 3 pounds. You know how the scale can be like a hair under 3 pounds. And that has been consistent. So even though it wasn't a huge amount, my numbers did go down, and then I have maintained that. So that's a win in my book. But going forward, like I was saying, I do want to work on my weight. I really need to get some weight off of me. I think that'll be good for my back. I just had an MRI. I have degenerative disc disease. I have got cervical fusion. I've got a couple of levels fused in my lower spine, and the section above my fusion is not doing well at all. I just had an MRI and my back is pretty jacked up, you could say. So for me, keeping a healthy weight is very, very important for my body, and something that I want to work on going forward as I continue to implement all 10 of the hacks, and then prepare for the next 3 months when I'll get my blood work done again. And hopefully my weight will continue to go down and my numbers will continue to improve. So I'm very excited about that. Let's get to the results. I am going to be comparing my May 23rd, 2025 blood draw to my November 2024 blood draw. So that has been 5 months, but I've been working on adding these glucose hacks now for 12 weeks very slowly. In November, my A1C was at 5.7%, and I've always been dipping in and out of pre-diabetes. I am happy to report my A1C numbers went down to 5.6. My triglycerides saw improvement. In November, they were 106, and in May, 102. In my last video in this series, I was mentioning how I was really nervous about my cholesterol results because I was not focusing on my cholesterol, and I've been eating a lot of protein. I've been taking in a lot of saturated fats. That's part of the core ingredient for a savory breakfast is protein, fat, and then fiber. And I was a little afraid that my cholesterol was going to be elevated, but it went down, and it went down almost 30 points. It went down 27 points. I am within the normal range now, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm very, very pleased. My LDL also saw really good improvement. I was at 128.8 in November, and it went down almost 29 points. Well, actually, yeah, just a hair over 29 points. And I am now also in the normal range for my LDL. Also, my cholesterol to HDL ratio was at 2.6, and that is considered very good. I am right in the middle of the normal range. So that was also exciting. I am really pleased with these results. They did not test for my fasting glucose. I'm not sure why. I'll have to make sure I request that in August, but I am in the normal range in all of the categories. De-stressing has become my top priority, especially after just coming down from the shock and awe, like I said, of the breast cancer diagnosis, and then having that emotional and physical crash last week. In addition to that, I had to get off of all of my HRT hormones, which sent my body into all kinds of symptoms as my body adjusted to the lessening of the estrogen and progesterone that I was on. And let's just say the past few weeks have been a bit rough. And I realized that I needed to implement some tools so that way I can reduce as much stress as possible. My body is already going to be undergoing stress with surgery. I will have a lumpectomy so far at this point, just that, with some reconstruction surgery, with radiation, and then I will be on a hormone suppressing medication for 5 years. So not only did I have to get off of all of my HRT medications, but I will also be getting on medication that will suppress even further my body's ability to make estrogen, because the type of cancer cells I have are progesterone and estrogen positive receptors. It's quite fascinating. And thank God they are, because evidently, from what I have gathered from a very layperson side of things, that using those medications is just as effective as chemotherapy, depending on, of course, the type of cancer and what you've got going on. There's so many variables. So with that being said, my nutrition has become top priority for my bone health, my muscle health, I guess you can tend to put weight on easier with these hormone suppressing medications. I need to be able to build muscle. So implementing the glucose hacks has become even more of a priority. Like I said earlier, I'm already set up to go get retested in 3 months. That should be after my surgery, after my radiation, and then also several months of being on the and I'm not sure which type of medication I'm going to be on just yet. I'll let you know that. But managing stress, managing my sleep. I also just got on a type of medication. It's called Veoza, and it is supposed to help with hot flashes. I just started taking that, but when you first start taking it, you have to get your liver checked monthly for 3 months. And then at a 6-month point, a 9-month point, and a year point, and then I think after that you're good to go. So my health has become top priority, and I have got to reduce stress. So I'll share with you some of the things that I've been doing to reduce stress. Like I was saying earlier in the video, I crashed about a week ago. Just physically, I was so exhausted. A combination of things, my body adjusting to the medication, but then coming down from that shock and awe of getting a breast cancer diagnosis. And I tell you, I feel so very blessed and thankful, filled with gratitude that my cancer is caught in a very early stage. And of course, once I have my lumpectomy, there will be no invasive cancer detected in the tissue at all, and that the radiation and the medication will be just what I need to go on and live my life to its full potential, Lord willing, never having to deal with breast cancer again, hopefully. But when I did receive the diagnosis, I mean, isn't it everybody's fear to get a cancer diagnosis? When I got the questionable mammogram, then I had to go through all of the other types of exams before I got to the biopsy. Then seeing the pathology report, my body was shaking uncontrollably. My daughter was so sweet. At the time, my husband was at the house, and my youngest daughter, Lydia, she's 26 years old, but she was my youngest daughter. She was at the home, and I had my husband read the results, because right when I opened up the information, I saw that it was not good. And I asked him to read it, and my daughter, Lydia, held my hand, and all I remember is her kissing my hand and rubbing my shoulder as my husband read the details. And my physical response was I was shaking just uncontrollably. I couldn't stop shaking, and of course I was crying and just overwhelmed with the news, and then the fear, the uncertainty, all that type of thing. I have come way, way, way down from that. And it's also funny, the stages I've gone through, which of course we know we go through these different stages of shock. There's the denial, the disbelief, anger. I actually have not felt any anger at all about this, but there was a part of me that really had a hard time wrapping my brain around the diagnosis. And even when I went and saw the breast surgeon for my first examination, I saw on her screen the words malignant. And I'm like, ooh, malignant is such a gnarly word, isn't it? It's not a nice word. But I had this vision, I think in pictures, and I visualized this part of my brain as about a 4 or 5-year-old toddler on the ground, having a fit about the whole situation. And this is where my de-stressing techniques have come in, because I recognize this as I saw this 4 or 5-year-old part of my brain having a temper tantrum over this cancer diagnosis and not wanting to get off of her HRT, not wanting to be on this hormone suppressing medication. And she was just having a fit about it. But then there was this other part of me that's like, well, you know, we can have a fit about it all day long, but it's not going to change what we have to do. And that's when I'm like, okay, I need to implement some tools. And I was part of a Mel Robbins coaching program last year, and I learned a lot of wonderful tools. One of the tools was this journaling practice that she had us do for the different projects that we the people who were part of the program did. We had 3 projects, and with each project, we did these journaling prompts. And I've talked about them in some of these earlier videos for building leverage. Well, this time around, I realized I needed to reset my mind because I was stressing out. And I needed to set myself up with a powerful thought life, a peaceful thought life, and a purposeful thought life. And I needed help doing it. So what I've been doing is I have been journaling every day. I'm asking myself, and I'm calling it my project. What is my project? My project is to set a positive mindset. I then asked myself, why is it important to me? And then the third thing is, what will I do today? So I've been doing that. One of my days, I said, my project is to establish a powerful and positive mindset so that I can embark on my cancer healing journey with focus, passion, purpose, and so I can see the blessings around me. Why is it important to me? It is important to me because I want to reduce my stress and anxiety and worry. I want to think powerful thoughts toward my journey. I want to know what lessons will I discover during this time. Joyce Meyer has said you can't have a testimony without a test. And I want to be in a place where I can see the lessons and then also see all of the blessings that surround me during this time. And when I am in a calm and peaceful state, I will be receptive to those. For the section on what will I do today, each day I varied it up. One day I just set an intention for what I was actually going to do as far as doing my house projects and my normal activities. I also looked for what I called trail angels. I learned that from a recent Mel Robbins podcast I've been listening to with Dr. Lisa Miller. It was wonderful. One day I wrote out affirmations. One day I purposed in my heart to listen to some really great preaching. I'm a Christian, so I love to listen to wonderful, powerful, faith-building messages. I did that one day. I also did Tony Robbins' incantation practice, which was really powerful. And then another day I wrote out what I was thankful for, and this is what I wrote in my list. God's hand of protection and provision and the speed at which everything happened. My amazing family, the kind souls in my YouTube community, all of the beautiful and encouraging and uplifting words sent my way, my doctors, my healthcare insurance, that my cancer was caught early, the Mel Robbins coaching program, my counseling, my YouTube channel to work on, preaching and inspirational teachings, financial provision, and the ability to experience personal growth and development as I journey through this process. Those are the things I'm thankful for. And I am continuing this practice every day of writing out, what is my project? Why is it important to me? And what will I do today? And it has given me a tremendous amount of peace. And I have been able to de-stress and come down and get intentional. The Mel Robbins podcast with Dr. Lisa Miller was filled with so many wisdom treasures. One of them was she talked about all of the different ways in which we are loved, held, and guided, and to look for those ways in our lives. And doing this journal practice, being intentional, has helped me to see all of the different ways in which I am loved, held, and guided.